Excuse me, what on earth are you doing here? Why are you hitting those people?
What? Lady, don't think you can shout at me. Why do you care anyways?
This is my building. I own it, so obviously I'm going to care. Do you know how many complaints I've been receiving about someone intimidating strangers on the street? A lot. I've gotten a lot of complaints. That's why I came down here. You're scaring innocent people.
What? That's all a lie. Do you see me beating anyone up? I'm not hurting anyone. No, I'm not intimidating at all. You say you own this building? Then I own that tailor shop across the street. I'm the owner of that business.
Excuse me, I think it's best for you to get out of here. Did you not hear what I said before? You are scaring people. My tenants asked me to resolve this issue quickly, so I told them I would. I will not have the people living here feel afraid to step outside. Oh, and I heard that you disturbed some of the kids who attend the after-school program we have below the apartments. They told me you were harassing them. They told me some crazy old guy was being a jerk outside and called them rude names. Are you that kind of person? An adult who gets off on bullying children and teenagers?
What? After school care? There was just a martial arts studio on the ground floor, right? I knew that, but what after school program are you referring to? They really had someone come and pick on them?
Are you not listening to me? Seriously, dude. All of the kids said they didn't know the guy who was being rude to them. All they said was he was dressed like a gangster, whatever that's supposed to mean, but I'm assuming it means that he looked something like you.
What? Gangster? You're seriously so rude to speak to a stranger like that. You have no facts here.
People like you that are the type to pick on children or women, anyone who is weaker than you. I find anyone who acts like that to be scary, don't you? I heard that you hit one of my teen students.
What? You witch. How could you say all of that about me? You don't even know me.
Rein it in there, big boy. It sounds like I've really struck a chord. How does it feel to be belittled by someone you would normally victimize? I don't think I'm being that harsh here, am I? I think I ought to kick some sense into you, right in that ugly little face of yours.
What? What do you mean you're gonna kick me in the face? Look at you. What are you? 5'1"? I'm 6 feet tall. What kind of kick could you do to reach my face?
Actually, I'm a kickboxer. I'm the teacher here, at this martial arts studio. I guess you didn't think of that, did you?
Are you saying that you and your business support the assault of innocent citizens? I'm an innocent bystander, and here you are threatening to beat me up. Are you crazy? I'm gonna report you to the police for harassing me.
Running away, are we? I guess you're right. There's no reason for me to resort to violence. I was just trying to prepare myself in case you decided to come for me like you did to the kids. I think I won't be seeing you again, right? Reporting me to the police? I'd like to see you try. Regardless of what I do, you're the one who started it. I have plenty of witnesses who can testify on my behalf. I think that if the police come, you're going to be the one to get into the most trouble, not me. One kick should do the trick, right?
What? Hold up. Wait a second. This is so foul. No need to hit me. Wait, lady! Honey, I got my certificate.
Oh, really? That's so exciting. You didn't pass the exam the first 4 times, but the 5th try was a success. I'm so happy for you.
Why do you have to bring up how many times I failed? It's embarrassing.
I'm trying to tell you that I'm proud of you for pursuing it even after failing a few times. Congrats, babe.
It's all thanks to you. You've been supporting me so generously that I had to make sure I passed this time. You know I've always been passionate about coffee and opening my own cafe one day. Getting my barista certification was a huge step for me.
So, are you finally going to get a job at a cafe as a barista? I know you've been looking forward to it.
Yes, but you know, these days people my age are less likely to get hired in a place like that. Nowadays, only young, cool, and attractive people work in cafes. I feel like I won't fit in. Who would want a weird old man like me to work at their shop, especially with such little experience?
I think that you just appeal to a different group of people. Women at my age like to see handsome men like you at these kinds of shops. I think that you will do so well in this field. You're passionate and need to gain more experience before opening your own business. Who cares how good looking the baristas are if the coffee is garbage, you know?
Hey, you shouldn't talk like that about my coffee. It's really not that bad. I just need to practice more. You should be on my side. I am your husband after all.
I understand that you want to be your own boss and create your own place, but you need to be honest with yourself. You lack experience, and I think it would be a waste of money to put all of it into a risky business so soon. I know that you understand that, so why do you keep fighting me over this?
You're right, but
No buts about it. There's no need for us to argue like this. Tell me about your business plans, and I'll consider it further.
well, I don't exactly have a plan yet, but I think my idea is best. Shouldn't I start my own business before getting a minimum wage job? I mean, wouldn't it be a better investment of my time and money?
What do you mean?
Well, these days I feel like it's better for you to become a business owner right away. People miss out on a lot of profit by starting their businesses too late in life. It's an investment I need to make. You know that coffee shops are always busy and make a ton of money. My goal is to open my own chain of coffee shops here in California. I think it would be successful here. I can come up with my own recipes and my own brand that could become so well known.
I'm not sure if you can handle running a business on your own right now. I mean, you haven't experienced this kind of responsibility before, so I'm a little worried. Remember a year or two ago when your cousin opened their own restaurant? How many months were they open before they had to close their doors? It was a failure, and now they're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Did you forget that you already have a significant amount of debt you need to pay back? Even if the coffee shop is successful, it's going to be expensive for you to operate. There are a lot of costs I don't think you're accounting for. Plus, have you thought about the schedule it would require? To run that kind of business, you need to be a dedicated morning person. The early morning hours are peak. You have to work late and get there early to prepare everything. Plus, if you get a huge rush, how are you going to handle all the stress of running the cash register and making the coffee and desserts all by yourself? Have you thought about hiring employees? Have you considered how much extra that's going to cost you?
You really have to focus on the negative all the time, don't you? I asked you not to provoke me or question me this much at home, but you're at it again. I feel like we ain't having a single conversation without you trying to criticize me.
Honestly, it's hard for me not to criticize you when all you do is stay at home playing your games all day. You don't do the housekeeping anymore, you don't cook for me, and I don't make you pay rent or anything. You are a stay-at-home husband who doesn't have to do any of the responsibilities of a stay-at-home spouse. I think sometimes you only married me for my money. It's so frustrating. I wish you would just grow up.
You are so annoying. I can't talk to you right now.
Fine, I'll go grocery shopping on my own. When I first met my husband, he was the kind of guy who would curse at anyone for looking at him the wrong way. He wasn't like a dangerous gangster or a true punk. He was just an intimidating man with a tough exterior. He was the type of person to stand up for others and to fight for what he believed in. He would not stand to be disrespected, especially by people who were rude to everyone. The day when I first met him, we got into a big argument. I'm also the kind of person who will not stand to see others be bullied. I grabbed him by his collar and said, "I'm going to teach you how to show some real respect." I took him to my kickboxing studio and he got humbled pretty quickly. At first, it was apparent that he had hurt his pride. That's common for men who get put in their place by women, but after that, he listened to what I had to say and we spoke civilly. We actually started to flirt and joke. Turns out I was wrong, and he hadn't been the one harassing my students. He was the guy beating up the original bully. I apologize for all of the grief I gave him and the harshness of my words, but surprisingly, he said that he took my criticisms to heart and he wanted to become a better person. We started to meet regularly and eventually started dating. Now, I'm happy to say that he is my husband. We got married a few months ago and we are happier than ever. Although he makes me very happy, there are a few things that worry me about him. For example, we're not that young anymore. We're both in our late 30s and he still doesn't have a career. I'm okay with that because I know he has passions he wants to pursue, but it does stress me out a little. He's been working so hard, but I think he still feels held back by his past. Am I the kind of person who can really hold down a good job? Do I deserve that? These are the questions he constantly asks me. Each time he speaks like that, it makes me so sad. I always listen to his worries and try to support him. The other things I'm worried that might prevent him from getting the kind of work he's interested in is his overall style. I think he looks super cool. He's got a really great sense of style and beautiful tattoos. Although I'm not worried about it holding him back in the coffee industry, it has held him back in other work fields. I don't blame him for being stressed. He's had his fair share of bad working environments. So recently he asked me to help him open his own coffee shop. I own and manage an apartment building with commercial rental space on the first floor. I also own the martial arts studio in the building where I teach kickboxing classes a couple times a week. One of the rental spaces in my building has recently opened up. Maybe I'll give him the opportunity to open his cafe there.
Oh my god, this place is huge! I thought this place was small before, but it looks great now that you guys opened up the space more. I heard that your husband didn't work much before opening the cafe. Do you really think this is going to be good for him? I mean, are you just setting him up for failure, or do you truly believe he'll succeed?
What do you mean? It's too early to tell whether or not it will do well, but I'm happy to help him try. I am a bit nervous. I mean, he failed his barista certifications 4 times before passing the exam.
Even so, this is a huge deal. This cafe is huge, and the atmosphere is incredible. Is he really going to run this place on his own? It's much bigger than I thought it would be.
Well, because of the initial layout, the space needed to be opened up to work better for a coffee shop. It was used for a State Farm insurance office before, so it had a ton of offices and cubicles. Edward helped me make the changes so we could create his dream space. I think it'll sort of act as a restaurant as well as a coffee shop in a way. I mean, by adding food items for people and stuff like that. He said something like, rumors are important, whatever that means.
I get what he's saying. If people hear about how big and extravagant it is, they're more likely to stop by and see it for themselves. I think he also means that if people heard about a nice cafe opening today, he might get more customers. Did he tell a bunch of people about it? There are plenty of coffee-obsessed people here in LA, so I doubt he will do poorly.
Well, I did help him run around and advertise recently. I passed out flyers, posted to social media, and told as many people as I could about the opening day. Well, I'm sure you're right, and today will be a success.
I see. Well, does he have any other employees yet? If the space was smaller and more manageable, I think he would be fine on his own, but it seems like this would be a bit much.
We're trying to find some part-timers to work here, but since this area is a little further from areas with college and high school students, it's been a little difficult to find people. This kind of part-time job is especially popular for college students, so we're hoping to find some with flexible availability.
Oh, really? I see. He's going to have to clean this whole place on his own, make the drinks, run the register, and so on. I don't have much confidence he'll be able to do it all.
I didn't give him too many spots to sit, did I? I only gave her the furniture I had available to me. Well, I figured since the space is so big, he could always buy more furniture later, but maybe I've underestimated it all? We just wanted the space to feel natural. Since it's so big, we wanted to make sure there is enough places for everyone to sit without it feeling crowded. I'm sure he'll be fine. Here, let's go get some drinks. Hello?
Hey girl, I have something I need to tell you, so I thought I'd give you a call.
Aren't you supposed to be working right now? Are you allowed to be calling me?
Oh, about that. I actually quit my job. I've decided to take a break from working. I want to do another job. Actually, I've been thinking about it for a few days now, but I was a little nervous to ask you about it. I have been stopping by your husband's cafe frequently to get drinks, and I noticed he still doesn't have any employees.
Yeah, he hasn't had any luck hiring anyone yet.
Do you think he would hire me? You know, I worked as a barista at Starbucks all throughout high school and college. I would be a great employee. I don't think there will be any problem if you guys hire me. I mean, you already know I'm a good person. I have a good personality, and I have loads of experience. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot you used to work for Starbucks.
Yes, I loved it because I got free drinks every shift. I always thought baristas were so cool, and I wanted to be like them. I just feel like I need a change of pace, a job with less office-related drama and stress. Honestly, I miss making coffee, and I've always loved working service jobs. I know you guys need employees, and now I'm looking for some work, so I thought I'd ask.
Really? You really want to work there?
Yes.
That is such a relief. We have been stressed about it. Edward hasn't had any luck with other applicants, and he's been struggling to keep up with everything on his own.
I promise I will be such a big help. Girl, don't worry. Believe in me.
Sarah is my best friend. We've known each other since we were kids. She and I attended school together at UC Berkeley, and when I started working full-time as a kickboxing instructor, I started to fall behind with my homework. She always helped me out when I was having a hard time. So when she came to me asking if she could work at my husband's new cafe, I thought it would be a great idea. I had no doubt about her skills. She was a great barista when she was younger. Her being at the store will help Edward to finally relax a bit. I am so grateful that his first employee is going to be someone like her. But when I said yes to her working there, there was one thing I overlooked. Although I have no doubts that she will be a good employee, I don't know if I should let her be alone with Edward for that long. Back when we started to date, she was very interested in him. I'm worried she might try to make a move on him now that they'll be together every day.
Ah, honey, I'm home.
Oh, you're here? It's so late. I was worried something was wrong. You don't usually finish this late.
Ah, well, I'm updating the menu, so I had to stay late tonight to finish updating our website and the display board. I added some seasonal items. Apparently, that's very popular nowadays. Since I didn't have the time to update it tomorrow, I went ahead and stayed late tonight. There's nothing I could do about it.
Oh, so you and Sarah were there alone from 4 to 9?
What did you think? Was I supposed to update everything on my own? I couldn't change the display on my own. I needed someone to hold the ladder. Plus, I needed an outside perspective. I'm the boss, so I get to decide how late we stay at work. I told her I'd pay her overtime since she stayed late.
I understand that it was a lot of work, but why did you get home this late? I feel like 4 hours is a bit excessive for you to both be there, alone. I'm only bringing this up because you've been acting strangely recently. What has gotten into you?
What have I done that's weird? All people change, Bianca. Nobody stays the same forever. Don't you trust me? Are you saying that I didn't make her work and we did something else together? Do you think I'm that type to fool around like that? We both have worked so hard to get to this point. What is your problem? Are you that against me starting my own successful business? I mean, I know that you were always the breadwinner in our relationship, but I didn't think you'd be this jealous of my success.
No, honey, that's not what I'm trying to say. When did I ever say I wasn't happy with your business? I'm proud of you.
It's the truth, though. You're just not saying it. At first, you doubted I would even be able to stay open more than a month. You said I wasn't experienced enough and needed to get better at making coffee beforehand. I asked you to believe in me and to be supportive, but you were always so negative. I have no one else to support me but you. A wife is supposed to support her husband. It feels like you're not happy for me and I don't feel like you're supporting me. Do you know how hard that's been? You're supposed to be my cheerleader in life. Instead, you're just ignoring my successes and focusing on my failures.
What have I said about your failures? I'm just asking you why you got home so late.
I can't do this right now. Let's just go to bed. I'm exhausted and I don't have the energy to fight.
Honey, I just want to have a civil conversation.
Okay, I get it. I'm tired from a long day's work, okay? I'll go wash up and then come to bed. You go ahead and get to sleep.
What's that smell? That's weird. He's acting so suspicious.
sorry, girl. We have a company dinner tonight. We're all getting some drinks to celebrate a hard week's work. Edward said we would all be going home late tonight. He wanted me to tell you not to wait up for him.
What? Why did he ask you to tell me that? Why can't he call me himself?
Well, he's busy cleaning up with the new guys. You know, the college boys who started working here a few months ago. He said he's ordering us some food and a lot of drinks, so we're all looking forward to it. You're not upset, are you?
Well, it's just the employees, right? How many of you are there again? 4? 5? That's including you and Edward? It shouldn't take that long, should it? I mean, there's not that many of you, so the food should be fairly quick.
Oh, do you not know that nowadays young people don't want to eat dinner together? Now you have to do another activity too. We voted to go bowling together for some team building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not that you'd know since you're so old now. It's not your fault you're out of touch with the younger generations. Anyways, don't worry about us. We're going to get food and drinks and then go bowling. Don't worry about us and get some good sleep tonight. Talk to you later.
Wait, hello? Hello? Sarah?
Hello, Mrs. Hudson. I hope you're having a good evening. I just finished all the cleaning here at the shop. I locked up and I left.
Thank you for reporting to me. You're always so diligent in letting me know how each day goes. I appreciate you.
No worries at all. I like doing it. When I first began here at the coffee shop, I was a bit worried to work with your husband. I was scared he might not like me. If I'm being honest, it was a relief to hear that you're also an owner and manager here. I like reporting back to you more than I like reporting to him. I finally built up the confidence to close all on my own. Plus, you pay me so well. I know I couldn't get pay like this at a cafe anywhere else. You really are the best boss in the world.
Oh, don't say that. I've enjoyed having a diligent employee like you. I know my husband can be intimidating at first, but he grows on you. Oh, and I don't give that salary to everyone, only to the hardest working employees.
That makes sense. Don't want to break the bank paying a ton of money to people who don't work hard for it. It makes sense that you're so good at organizing us all. I mean, you own the building, the martial arts studio, and this shop. I don't think I could imagine having to manage so much all at the same time.
Wow, I'm flattered. Thank you for making me feel so good. Are you headed to the company dinner now that you've locked up? Edward said he would buy everyone dinner and drinks, and you would all go bowling afterwards. If you get there later than everyone and they've already paid, I'll pay for you so you don't have to worry about it.
Excuse me? Company dinner? Where's that happening?
Oh, you didn't hear about it? I heard that tonight was the big company dinner.
Who told you that? I haven't heard anything about it.
What?
We tried talking to Mr. Hudson about doing it in the past, but he said that he hates those kinds of formal get-togethers. He said it makes him think of corporate jobs. If they really are getting dinner, I'm sure it'll be close to here, especially since Sarah's car is still parked on the road. We've never done that kind of meeting before either. I wonder what would make them plan one on such short notice.
What? I am so confused. I mean, my friend Sarah, you know her, right? She called and said that's what was going on. She said the dinner was tonight and you would all be there.
You're friends with Sarah? Didn't she tell you she was feeling ill this evening? She said she felt a bit sick, so she left work early.
No way.
Now that I think about it, before she left, she went into Mr. Hudson's office and chatted with him privately for quite a while. They closed the door soon, so I thought it was something serious. I thought maybe it had to do with her leaving early due to her sickness. Do you think there's another reason she might have left early?
Roy, are you still in front of the cafe? You didn't leave yet, did you?
No, I didn't leave. I'm still here. I just locked the door.
Is my husband there?
I think he just got into his car.
I'm so sorry to ask you this, but do you think you could follow him? I understand that might be a little uncomfortable, but it would really help to ease my mind if you did. I think he's lying to me about what he's doing tonight.
Oh my gosh, yes, of course, I can do it. 1 second. It looks like he just left. I don't know his license plate number, but I do know the make and the model, so I'm sure I can find him.
I'm so sorry about this. You just got off work and just want to go home. I'll give you a bonus this month for going above and beyond as my employee.
Oh, you don't really have to do that. I'm okay with my current pay. Okay, I'm headed down the street he turned on. I'll keep you updated.
I was embarrassed and apologetic about asking my employee to tail my husband, but he accepted my request and followed Edward. No matter what the reason is, something weird is going on. Because Edward's been acting weird and Sarah called and lied to me, I can't help but think they're up to something. Normally I would trust my husband and best friend because I think of them as very honest people. But it sounds like they've been acting weird at work too, according to Roy. After Roy tailed Edward, he called me back. He said that my husband drove straight to a motel. He sent me the address and I got in my car and drove there immediately. Roy said that he got a video of Edward parking and going into a motel room, so I watched it with him. It was clear that Edward walked towards one of the rooms on the first floor and Sarah opened the door. They hugged and kissed when they greeted before going into the room and closing the door behind them. I told Roy he could go home and thanked him for his help. He said it made him feel like a spy or a detective, so he was happy to do it. I sat in front of the motel for over 3 hours. I wanted to go inside, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Finally, I went to the manager's office and knocked. I chatted with him for a while and verified who was in the room. They were dumb enough to put it under their real names. The manager and I went to the room together, and he gave me a key. I opened the door, and it was quite a sight. I can't believe you two! You liars! You two are so shameless! You have no shame. None! Are you just gonna continue to lay in bed? Hey, get up right now! Get up!
Why are you screaming so loud? I was trying to sleep. Ouch! My head hurts. I drank so much.
Oh yeah? You were just sleeping, huh? I heard you had a company dinner tonight. You mean to tell me you went and ate, drank, and bowled all before 7 p.m. and now you're going to sleep? Did you think you were just going to sleep here and not go home?
Who the hell is yelling? Oh, Bianca? I didn't realize it was you.
Dude, how did you not realize? I was giving you very specific details about your elaborate alibi. It's me, your wife. And that woman sleeping next to you is my best friend!
Hey, Sarah, wake up, get up!
Babe, let me sleep a little longer. I'm so tired. Let's rest a little longer. You don't need to go home yet. I'm so tired because we overdid it.
Now is not the time to rest. Get up, please. How could you not hear another person shouting in here?
I told you I'm a heavy sleeper.
Babe, let's rest a little longer? You overdid it? What were you doing that was so exhausting?
No, honey, it's not like that. We overdid it at work today. We're just talking about work today. She just called me babe by accident, 'cause we were both very drunk. You know, we're all close to the same age, and she's your close friend, so I thought she could rest here before heading home. I was trying to be kind. It's really not what you think.
Oh my God! Don't even try to make excuses. It makes you sound like an idiot.
I don't think you're being very respectful here.
Edward, I do not owe you any respect in this situation. I have evidence of what you have been doing. You're shameless. I can't believe you're trying to lie to me and gaslight me about this. Do you not have a conscience?
No, honey, Sarah, I told you to get up. Get up right now.
Stop shaking me. Let me sleep, babe.
Honey, please open the door. I'm your husband. Why won't you let me into my own house?
Your house? This is my house. I own this house. Why would I let the man I want to divorce come back into my house? Obviously, you're not allowed to come in. I have no reason to let you come in.
What do you expect him to do? You're being so heartless. We've known each other since we were kids. How can you not be understanding of me? I already told you the truth multiple times. You owe me this.
What? Owe you this? What, you want me to understand that you two engaged in a relationship behind my back? I could never understand why you did that.
Well, we couldn't help it. We've had to work together every day for so long that tension has built up. You can understand that, can't you? Wouldn't it be weirder if we didn't have these feelings?
Yeah, there was no way we couldn't have acted on these feelings. You were always getting frustrated with me when I got home. I didn't feel loved. It was so nice to get some positive attention for once. Back in the day, you thought I was cool, handsome, and I could tell you really liked me. I felt so good back then. But ever since I've opened this cafe, it feels like you've gotten distant. Sarah was the first person to make me feel loved again. Do you know how nice that was?
What? You think I didn't love you anymore? I wasn't showing you that I loved you? So, all the nights I cooked for you, put on romantic music, tried to set the mood, weren't good enough for you? What about all the times I surprised you during my lunch by stopping by the cafe to bring you food? You don't think that stuff was done out of love?
Okay, let's be honest here. Let me speak honestly for once. I like Sarah more than I like you. I would rather live with her. I've been imagining how much better my life would have been if I went after her instead of you. We've gotten to know each other so well working together. I want to live happily. I don't want to constantly have to walk on eggshells and avoid your negative complaints. I am ashamed of how I've been living. You've made my life a living nightmare that I can't wake up from.
Tell her, babe. You know what? I'll be honest too. Think of all this as one big favor from me to you. I think it's best if you two get divorced. I love him. This is the first time I've ever been in love. You know that? Just let him go and let us live happily ever after together. For as long as we've been friends, I've done so much for you. I can't count how many favors I've done.
How dare you? Do you know how much I've done for you? As I've listened to your nonsense, I've realized you two are perfect for each other. You two deserve each other. I already told you I want a divorce, so it's official. Edward, I am divorcing you. There. Are you happy? We've finally resolved this issue officially. This is the resolution to our problems.
Resolution?
Well, I mean, getting divorced means you two can keep seeing each other, and it means I can finally have some peace of mind. Plus, I'll get the alimony fees from Edward.
Alimony fees?
Well, you two cheated on me. He's a cheater. I'm going to make sure you pay for what you did. The trust you destroyed and the humiliation you've caused me. Did you not know that when a couple gets divorced, their assets are split and occasionally there are alimony fees that have to be paid?
You can have just that. I'll give it to you. I'll give you $50. That's enough, right?
$50?
Yeah, these days you can't get much more than that for this kind of divorce. I can swing $50, it's nothing. If it means I can divorce you and start my new life with Sarah here, then I can give it to you. Should I pay you for emotional stress as well? I can, as long as it means you'll leave us alone.
And what about your daughter that I'm pregnant with?
You can keep her. I want to start a new life with Sarah. You raise the kid and I'll pay child support, okay?
Oh, fine. I don't want my daughter to have such a horrible influence in her life. I am not accepting your offer, though. I know you were confident I would accept, but I won't.
Fine. You know my cafe is super popular now, don't you? All of my social media profiles have thousands of followers. I can pay you more if you want. I'm earning plenty of money to support myself. I can earn enough to pay you off in the next couple of months, you know? But you know, after I pay you off, my fortune will go to me and my love, Sarah. Isn't it a relief for you to know that I won't be mooching off of you anymore?
Edward, you sure do like to talk a lot, don't you? You shouldn't forget what I said before. I have evidence and witnesses proving that you've been cheating on me for a long time now.
Fine. If that's really so important to you, go get yourself a lawyer and take me for all that you can. Good luck finding a good lawyer who will take on this stupid case.
Who is at my door at this hour? Oh, my, it's Edward's mom. Hi there, how can I help you? Hi, dear. I am so sorry. So sorry. Since you're here, why don't you come in? I just made a kettle of tea. Come on in. Hold on, dear. My son told me everything. He said that he likes that girl, loves her. But I can't stand to see them together. Is there any way we can stop the divorce? Excuse me? My son is so happy that he's finally successful with his work, and he's found someone who makes him happy. I know that he hurt you badly, but my son deserves to be happy. But I don't think it's right to end the relationship over this mistake. I tried to raise my son right, and I never thought he'd do something as stupid as this. If you reconsider, I promise I'll do anything you want. I am begging you, please, reconsider. Mrs. Hudson, I understand how upsetting this is for you, but you have to think about what Edward has done to me. He's lied, cheated, and gone behind my back. These are not forgivable offenses for me. At first you said you were sorry, but it doesn't seem that way. You just don't want me to divorce him. Did he ask you to come here and ask me? Is he having second thoughts? How could you think I'm not sorry? I just don't want my son to make a mistake that he will regret for the rest of his life. Seems like you're only thinking about how this will affect him. Before we got married, you were always focused only on his needs, never mine. I think this is all to prevent him from having to pay me. You keep thinking about how this will ruin his life, but have you thought about how staying with him might ruin my life? What? I am done speaking in circles. I shouldn't have to justify myself to you. Please leave. I am going to divorce him, and he is going to pay for what he has done. He deserves to face consequences for his actions. I'm going to get everything that is mine from him. What do you mean, everything that is yours? What are you trying to get from him? Why are you screaming so early in the morning? Get out of here before I call the police. Edward continued to think he had outsmarted me, smiling like a fool at work. Besides him was my old friend who believed she had found her true love at last. Their actions were, and still are, incredibly shameless. Edward's mom tried calling me multiple times, leaving me numerous texts and voicemails. She said I was making a mistake and I wouldn't get anything from him because he did nothing wrong. Edward told me that he doesn't need my financial support moving forward and he can make a good living off of his business. I think this whole situation is getting funnier and funnier. Who is the person who owns that building? Who is the one who manages the tenants in the building?
Hey, what is all of this?
What do you mean? You can't tell just by looking at it? I told you you had until today to get all of your stuff out. My lawyer and I spoke to you before, didn't we? Did you not understand what we were all talking about? Why are you so upset?
Hey, this is absurd. You suddenly increased my rent, and now I can't afford to stay here? How am I supposed to afford the new fees? There's no way all of this is legal.
I talked to you and your lawyer about the lease renewal. We're coming up on a year of you renting the space and the rent has increased. I thought you were making plenty of profit. You haven't paid your rent for the past 3 months. I told you if you didn't pay by last month, you would be evicted. You had until today to get everything out.
This can't be legal. What kind of contract allows for this kind of crazy action? What am I supposed to do if I can't keep my business here? You know I don't have any money to start up a new spot. When I got divorced from you, all of my employees quit and I haven't had as many customers as before for some reason. I'm just having a rough time right now. Can't you give me another chance?
So you expect me to let you keep running the shop here without making you pay rent? I thought you were doing well for yourself. You said you were rich from all the stocks you started to invest in. Plus, who was the one who paid for you to start this business? It was me. I paid for everything.
No, you didn't. I pitched in.
No, you didn't. I paid for everything when we were together. You kept quitting your jobs and made next to nothing. Get out of here. This is my place now, and you are not welcome. I have a new tenant who wants to use this space. This is my building, so get out immediately before I call security.
You witch! I already gave you all of my money to pay for the settlement. How can you do this to me? You know I have nothing.
Why should I care about your feelings? You didn't care about mine. We're not married anymore. You are my tenant and you have not paid rent. You signed contracts for the lease renewal but have broken portions of it, which allows me to kick you out. If you don't leave right now, I'm going to call the police and they will escort you off the premises. Your time here at this cafe is over. Goodbye, Edward. What are you still doing here? I told you to leave. The high rent I gave you, for the record, is the same amount all the other businesses pay. I gave you a discounted price at first since you were starting out. Other spaces in the city are even more expensive than mine. If you can't pay here, good luck finding a space elsewhere.
But
Get out! I am done speaking with you. Congrats, Roy. I know you worked so hard for your degree. Now you're an incredible business owner.
thank you, Bianca. Thank you for giving me such a good deal on the rent here. This is really a dream come true for me.
When you came to me telling me you wanted to open your own cafe, I knew you'd be a great fit for my building. It's a relief for me to have such a great worker occupying this space. You know that when my ex-husband had his own cafe, there were a ton of customers when we were enough workers, and the quality was good. I'm sure you'll do great. I believe in you.
Thank you so much. Would you like a drink? On the house, of course.
Don't mind if I do. I'll have whatever you recommend.
Coming right up. No, Bianca, did you hear about what happened to your ex-husband?
What? No, I haven't heard anything since we've been divorced. I haven't met with him since he was kicked out of my building. I didn't want to hear anything about him.
I thought that you might not mind hearing this news.
Well, what did you hear?
Well, one of my aunts lives in the desert.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that before.
Yes, so she lives out in the desert, and recently the neighborhood has started to grow with the addition of new homes. There is a coffee shop in town that's been there for a bit, and apparently she goes there often, since the next closest one is about a 20-minute drive. She said every time she goes there, it's super loud from shouting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently the owner and his girlfriend run it and fight daily. At first, the shop was busy and did well, but the vibe in there is so bad that the customers started to leave bad reviews. They're infamous in the area now. The building used to be a house, and the owner lives on the 3rd floor.
What? Is that allowed?
I think it's allowed with the proper licensing. Apparently, they didn't update the interior, so it's really out of date and pretty crowded. The owner is Edward, your ex-husband.
Dang. So he couldn't find anywhere in the city and he had to relocate to the middle of nowhere? Well, sounds like he and Sarah are doing well. It makes sense. They didn't have much money to restart their business with.
Well, now it's even more problematic. The scary men from town have chosen the cafe to meet at instead of the local bar since they were banned. Everyone who swings by feels intimidated and threatened.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a disaster. I can't believe they have such a scary group hanging out there all the time. I can't say that I'm shocked by the lack of success, though. Cheers to your new start, Roy.
Hey, Sarah, why are you always being so lazy? You don't do anything and always play games on your phone. Are you not going to help me with the customers when they come in?
Babe, why are you yelling at me? You don't do all of your duties either. We don't even get customers that often. Why are you so pressed about this? This is like the least busy town you could have found for us.
Maybe they aren't coming in because you're scaring them off with that horrid frown you always have on your face. Can't you just sit and look pleasant for once?
I always look pleasant. What are you talking about? It's all your fault that our business is going under. If you hadn't gotten us a lease in such a horrid town, in this disgusting building, we would be rich by now. You need to take some responsibility here.
I don't want to. Do you know how expensive it is to rent out a commercial space? We could never afford it. No one here drinks coffee like they do out in LA, and all of the locals are old people. Every day I wish I could just fall over and die. If you really didn't want to move here, you should have spoken up sooner. Are you tired of working in the coffee business? If so, maybe you should look for a new employer.
You are so mean. You know that?
You just wanted to get with me because of the money I was earning from my old cafe. Everything is ruined because of you. If you hadn't started flirting with me, I would still be with Bianca, and my cafe wouldn't have failed.
I can't do this anymore.
You're such a quitter. What are you doing?
Do you know how much I've done for you? I've been your main support for so long, and you're just treating me like this. I think you're just treating me like your doormat. You always boss me around and shout at me if I do something you don't like.
Do you know what you've put me through? I lost all of my savings when I got divorced so that I could pursue a relationship with you. Then you started acting differently. You don't care as much about how you look. You don't do your chores. You've stopped cooking for me. You don't care anymore. Don't you dare walk out of the door. I swear I'll kill you.
Oh, let go of me! Are you crazy? Don't hit me, you crazy jerk!
Stop screaming, you baby. That's it. You're dead. I'm dead. Just let's end everything now.
After their huge fight, Edward tried to make some very dangerous and reckless decisions. A neighbor ended up calling the cops, and Edward was arrested for assaulting Sarah and threatening to kill her, as well as himself. After months of fighting, struggling to stay afloat, and regret of the decisions he made, it was clear that Edward couldn't think of any solutions to his problems. The small town that was normally quiet and peaceful had a lot of drama while they were there. Sarah tried to contact me and apologize. She left voicemails asking if she could get a job and even showed up to Roy's coffee shop at one point. Roy's business has been even more successful than Edward's was originally. He's an incredible manager and very motivated. I am almost due to give birth to my daughter, and I can't wait to welcome her into this world. Although my relationship with Edward and Sarah was rough, I'm happier now that I've cut them both out of my life. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe.